You may have noticed I like making Balrogs.
Shadow and flame.
I'm using the Proxy model I got from Zealot Games. It has been a while since the unboxing video, as you can see by how tidy my desk was. So here he is, the faceless greater demon, after a cleanup of flash and whatnot. The legs have that chicken-like dinosaurian bend, giving the arch back, which is Balroggy, and then there's a huge wingspan, and the feathers should be able to be flamified as well. One thing I wasn't sure of though, is how or what to do with the faceless face, with his goofy smile. For now, I left it to the side and thought I'll figure it out when it comes to it. First thing is to get the body glued together. All glued, and then some green stuff to fill the gaps and cover up the unintentional camel toe. With that done, I went into my drawer of models and some bit boxes and found a dragon's tail. The leafy sides of the tail I carefully snipped off to leave the rocky centre pointy bit for the end of the tail. Until my not so careful snipping snapped it off.
Oh. Cock.
So I got some green stuff to do my own tail end thing. Added on some detail to match the other end with some notches and snubby rocky stubs. Then I got my drill out to pin it in with a paper clip. With some super glue and some green stuff to secure it and then blend it into his back. Now onto his wings, which are quite big, and I won't trust only glue to hold them up. So with a bit of eyeballing and, dare I say, winging it, I drilled at hopefully a near enough correct angle for the paperclip pinning. and again with green stuff with a join and around it to blend it and add extra secureness. Then it was what to do with the head. I had to play around with some failed options of D&D minis and one of the Game Workshop skulls. Until I remembered I had another horny option in the box of D&D minis. The head might be a tad too small at the moment, but the horns are perfect. So off it goes. With it glued on and a bit of green stuff with a join, I confirm the worthy sacrifice of the winged beast. I love how it makes his neck even longer for the lean over Balrogness. Then it was filling in around his neck and adding green stuff onto his head to cover the fur and any beast-like features. Whether it was a helmet or just his head, I haven't decided and still haven't, but we'll see in part 2 I guess. Helmet or no, the head was still too small. Going back in the drawer, I found a dragon jaw. That's a bit annoying to say. Going back into the drawer, I found a dragon jaw. and snipped off the front end, attaching it on with a blob of green stuff, giving a similar head size to my previous conversion. I started snipping away the front end of his mouth to make his open roaring jaw. But with the green stuff not fully cured, my impatience was shaking it around and nearly tearing his head off. And so, after seeing reason, I left it till the next day, and then it was fully cured and solid enough to get that bit cut off. The green stuff had cured on my dragon jaw too, but to the shape of my test fit, so all what had to be done was some super gluing it on. To break up the resin body and add some texture to the model like I did on my previous Balrog, this time though using my sand Mod Podge mix, with some extra Mod Podge to make it a bit runnier and smoother, easier for application, but getting the right consistency of not too runny. Slapping it on first at the shoulders to cover up the arm joins, and then eventually it kind of turned into a shadowy cowl. Then, once that's dry, the converting of this Balrog is now done, and ready for those final shots. But first, a temporary gluing on the base for those final shots. Thank you for watching. You may have noticed due to the edit, but I didn't really have a plan. I had somewhat of a plan, but that goes to show that you can just kind of wing it and you can do a conversion. And now for the usual stuff. Like the video if you haven't already, helps a lot. Leave a comment to let me know what you think. Have you got any conversions going on? Help the algorithm out as well. And of course, and as always, subscribe. And if you like what I'm doing here, if you like the channel, share it with any fellow hobbits or those who dwell in Middle Earth. See you on the next one.
It's quite cool.